another thing is stop bringing old baggage into your relationship. A lot of people forget baggage. What you should do, everything should be a lesson or a blessing. Every relationship, you can learn the good and the bad. You use that to make better decisions. You don't use that to every time you meet someone to say, oh, well, you remind me of such and such. So that dude's always with you. So that's why your bag is so heavy, because you got a lot of bodies in that bag that you keep pulling out whenever somebody who you think is the one who does what this other dude that you're carrying on you did to you. So he's going to act like him. Well, everybody's different.
I saw a quote on Instagram the other day, and it said, "Make sure when you buy a car, the previous owner doesn't still have the keys." I
Oh.
said,
Oh.
ah, I ain't talking
Oh.
about a car,
No.
right?
That's
And
oh.
that's that, man. I'm talking about bow, punch me right in the face. Cause
Yes.
true that, right?
Yes.
True that,
It's,
because that's exactly what the baggage that you're referencing is, right?
yep.
You still allowing people to hold on to little pieces of you that control you just a little bit different.
Oh my God, control you. Can you
Yeah, they
imagine
do.
the ghosts control you? Their ghosts control because they're not in your life anymore.
They're
They've been
not.
gone, but they got spaces in your mind. They're in the different crevices of your brain. So someone who's you dated 30 years ago,
Yep.
still in your head.
Yep.
You're not even an afterthought to them. They're
Yep.
not even thinking about you. They're moving on with their life, but you still carrying it. You still carrying that hurt, that brokenness, that feeling. Why are you carrying it? What's the purpose? So the next person can suffer because you got hurt. Everybody gets hurt.
Yep. And you go into the relationships and you're not forthcoming that you're still carrying that.
So how can you stand in front of all the people, the Lord Himself, and look at each other in the eye and be saying, yes, I'm going to do this, and especially in the back of your head, I really don't trust this cat because he done some things that make me really question him.
And you won't say it out loud.
Will not say it out loud. Won't say it at all. But it's in your head and it's constant. It's almost like another voice in your head just telling you. It's almost like if he was a player before and he settled down with you, but you knew he was a player. In your head, you can't come put that he was a player to rest because you didn't marry the player. You married this guy that you met now, not the guy he was whenever before you met him. But if you have to drag his history along with who he is right now, not that the history, he continues that history, that's a part of his, everybody got history. Everybody got
You
body.
can't be defined by where you
No,
were.
no. If that's the case,
Yeah.
then nobody would never get married because you start bringing back, oh, how many body counts you had? Oh, I got body counts.
It's like the idea of loving someone unconditionally, right?
Yep.
But you don't even know the conditions that exist here.
Wow.
Right? So how can you grow with someone when you don't actually even know what we're supposed to be growing through?
Ooh, that is so true. That is very true. I think people really need to reevaluate their vision of marriage is. I mean, if marriage is this is the person that I want to spend the rest of my life with, you have to be honest. Because if in your head you have to say, well, I don't like this about him, and you didn't tell him about it, then you're lying to yourself and you're actually lying to your partner because he or she doesn't know. They're gonna base what you say. If you say I'm cool with you, I know your history and I'm good with that, and we're gonna move forward based on the unit we're gonna put together and go here, that's what you should do. But if you're gonna hold somebody's past against them, then don't marry them because that's gonna eventually break up your unit.
Yeah, that's going to eat away and fester. And, who wants to do that?
No,
Who wants to do it? You sitting there paying for something you done did years ago. I'm not
years.
doing that.
And who wants to hear that all the time? Because I call you, you don't pick up the phone. I won't say, oh, well, maybe she's busy or something. If I go to, oh, he must be playing around. Because if he don't answer the phone, he got to be playing around. I'm going to check his phone when he come in. If I got to check your phone, I shouldn't have married you in the first place. Because I didn't just start when we got married. That started way before him, but you kept thinking that I'm going to change him when we get married. That's,
Or
I
at
assume
this
women.
point, when you're looking through the phone, it's like I'm gonna put parameters on them to try
Oh.
to get them to change their own behavior now, right? because you
Oh.
assume that you're doing something in darkness, right?
Yes.
And you assume that if you brought it to the light and they felt like they couldn't play in the darkness, that they would change the behavior,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
right? And normally what ends up happening is that just isn't the case.
No, it isn't.
Because it doesn't matter where that person is at. What matters is where they want to be.
Where they want to be.
Yeah, like you where your heart is at. If you
Yes.
sitting down next to your mate and you can be obedient and you can just, I'm there with my mate and doing everything I'm supposed to do. But in my heart, I'm thinking about somebody else. And
Oh.
in my mind, I'm thinking about somebody else.
Oh.
What's the point?
Yeah. What is the point?
Yeah,
Because what are you doing
because I can't be honest,
with the person you
right?
married? The person that you told everybody we're gonna ride and die together.
Mm-hmm.
If you can't be honest with them, why even walk down the aisle to even do that? But it takes. If you start off, it's almost like the old days when I learned cobalt. It was like garbage in, garbage out.
Mm-hmm.
So the end result is always going to be garbage because you put garbage in. So of course, garbage is going to come out on your reports.
Absolutely.
Same thing with relationships. If you start off with putting garbage in and thinking that I don't have to tell him everything about me, that maybe along the way, I can go and I'm going through some things because again, you may have somebody who's broken. We talk about being broken and shattered. And if you don't deal with that, you shouldn't get married to anybody in the first place. You need to handle yourself before you start bringing somebody else into a mess. Especially if you know I messed up and I need
And
to
I'm
get myself.
I'm not ready to be forthcoming about who I am.
There you
And
go.
for a lot of women, that is the case.